Hello friends, it's Symphony. So today is going to be a little bit of an interesting video. I feel like I look a little bit rough, but we're just going to roll with it. It's currently the day after Thanksgiving. I have been unsure about when I should decorate, but I feel like today's the perfect day. So before we get into all of that though, I feel like I need to go ahead and address some things right off the bat. Probably the biggest reason you clicked on this video. We need to catch up. So I've been definitely teasing something big coming, and I finally feel ready to announce it because I just quit my job. So I worked at a salon for 5 years, almost to the day. I walked out. I know that's not the best way to quit a job, however, it's just kind of the way things happened. It'll make more sense once I fully explain things. I was very fortunate to not only work for a very good franchise, but all of the people that I worked with were amazing as well. I actually made some of my best friends, lifelong friends there, which I'm incredibly thankful for. But that leads me to the pandemic. I don't even know. This is a lot to explain, to be honest, and I don't want to overshare things because I'm not trying to slander my old place of work. I don't want to get into any complications with that. So with that being said, I'm truly just sharing my experience in hopes to help anybody maybe going through the same thing. Plus, I also feel the need to explain what is going on. So anyways, the pandemic happened and it changed everything, as I'm sure it did for everyone, no matter what your job is. Unfortunately, hairstylists were heavily impacted by the pandemic as well. I want you guys to think about what hairstylists do for a living. We are up in your grill, bro, touching you. One-on-one contact for at least 15 minutes, if not more. And at a place like where I worked, which let me just preface this by saying that where I worked is basically the McDonald's of hair, okay? Considering the fact that you have to have a license to do hair. I go to school for longer than a fucking police officer has to train, and I was getting paid practically minimum wage. We did make tips, however, which definitely helped, and we had other incentives and all that kind of stuff. However, it was, in my opinion, a low-paying job for what our job was, especially after the pandemic. The amount of assholes that I would have to deal with on a daily basis completely ruined my mental health. So this wasn't a salon where you could book appointments. This is a salon that you walk in, get your haircut, and leave. I am doing one-on-one contact with these people for at least 15 minutes at a time. I don't even need to make this disclaimer to make what I'm saying valid, but I am a very high-risk person. I have relatively severe asthma, and I also have family members that are extremely high risk. So I personally have been taking the pandemic very seriously. We were closed for 3 months, just about. Best 3 months of my life, by the way. The pandemic really shifted a lot of things, and overall people's mindsets and how we value our time, our health, our mental health, all of that. And so whenever we first came back from the pandemic, we had to do the most insane amount of extra precautions for the pandemic. We would have to stop people at the door, ask them a series of 5 questions. We would have to take their temperature. They would have to have a mask on to even enter our door, of course. And then we would take them back and wash hands together. So I was washing my hands 20 plus times a day. And then do the whole haircut, and then the sanitation afterwards, which arguably might have been what we should have been doing anyway. New cape after every person, new towels after every person, new combs after every person. And then, which that's standard, and then we would have to wipe down literally every inch of our station. It used to be a quick brush the hair off, move to the next person. No, it's you were deep cleaning everything after every single person. And then we would have to deep clean the lobby where people would wait. We would have to deep clean literally just the entire salon. Every inch of the salon would have to be deep cleaned all day, every day. So it became to be a lot of work. And, when I used to be able, pre-pandemic, I could whip out over 20 people in a day, but post-pandemic, having all this work piled onto us, Not so much. It's harder to get through that many people. Therefore, you're kind of making a little less money. And we didn't really get many raises to compensate for the extra work that we had to do. On top of the biggest reason that I had to leave my job was because I was getting treated like shit. I have really bad anxiety, especially working at a walk-in place. You don't know what's coming in that door, okay? So, like, it's not like I'm making appointments with, like, clients that I know and trust. It's anybody walking in that door. And the biggest thing, of course, as I'm sure you guys all are assuming, is that I was having to argue with people about masks all day, every day. I don't want to get into it in the comments, but if a place of business is saying that they require a mask, just fucking wear one. Especially at a place like this, you're gonna be in there for maybe 15 minutes out of your day. Wear a fucking mask. I was wearing them for 8+ hours a day. And, you know, you get used to it, first of all. But second of all, is it that hard to just protect other people? Or at very least to just follow the rules of a business that you're entering? I mean, come on. So to get yelled at every day, and I mean bad stuff, you guys, like, oof. I will never in my life forget the way that I was spoken to. And I don't believe that anybody should ever get spoken to in the way that I did. However, I am doing your hair. I am performing a service for you. You know, I would never ever do this, but like, I could fuck your hair up and I could ruin the next month of your life because you're trying to sit in my chair and test me. Again, I would never do that, but it's just like, it fathoms me how comfortable people feel to disrespect hairstylists and to not take us seriously. I think a lot of that had to do with where I was working. I just got to the point that I was tired of being spoken to that way. I know that my skill levels are above that salon, but they want you to do a fast haircut. And I care more about the skills and the quality of the haircut that I'm putting out. I don't care if I take 20 minutes to do a haircut. They might, but you know, that's just not me. And so basically I feel like not only have I asserted this, like, I deserve to be treated better and I deserve to get paid more money for what I do, I'm tired of being confined to these standards of a corporation when I know that I personally am so much more than that. To give you guys more of a timeline of things, we've always had staffing issues at our store. The pandemic only made that worse. Again, this is a universal experience for a lot of people. It is hard to find employees right now. And it's not because they don't want to work. It's because they don't want to work a shitty job for shitty money. We were having issues with keeping our staff. We were having issues with hiring new people in. So throughout most of the pandemic, we were so short-staffed and it was just super overwhelming. I mean, my job was tiring already. I think a lot of people don't realize how physically exhausting it is to do hair. I was an assistant manager under my best friend. She had been there almost 9 years and then I had been there almost 5. And so I was her assistant for a little over a year, I believe, maybe even around 2 years. We both just went down a deep dark hole with our mental health because of work. It was just too much, you know, and I think her and I were experiencing a lot of the same things. Me and my manager at the time were both like on the brink of just losing it every day, all day, every day. We had a pretty solid staff, and then my manager steps down and I went down to part-time. And once this new manager came in, I was like, oh no. I am not gonna manage underneath anybody else. I am not gonna be anybody else's assistant. I can't do this. So I stepped down too. Me and my 2 best friends at work, my manager, and then we had another assistant too. We were all 3 just thinking of ideas of things that we could do that wasn't where we currently were. But nothing was really sticking. And so they both got this opportunity to work in marketing. They think, okay, I'm gonna pick up this job and still work at this other job, just do part-time at both. Management did not like that. So they decided to dock both of their pay to starting pay. I'm still angry about this. My management truly was like, we're doing the right thing. They offered for me to go to this job with them, but in my mind, I had 2 options. I was either gonna go somewhere else to do hair, or I was just gonna quit and do YouTube full-time. There was no, My anxiety and just my mental health is not in a good enough place where I can start a whole fresh new job. I just cannot. I can't handle that right now. And so they both go and do their thing. Management flips out, cuts their pay, so they're like, fuck you, we're leaving. Totally valid of them. Let me just say that. One girl puts in her 2 weeks. My other girl decided to step down out of the assistant position and go down to part-time so she could do this other job. They decide they're gonna dock her pay too. And so they both get their pay docked, and in that same fucking day, management calls me in and they're like, hey, we're gonna give you a raise because you're not leaving and you're fully flex. So I'm like, okay, well, that's great, but you just completely fucked over my 2 best friends. That's a weird position to put me in. I found out that I, at one point, in management, as an assistant manager, I was making $11.25 an hour for like months. And evidently, I was supposed to be getting $12.50 that entire time. So they bumped me up to $12.50. Never got an ounce of back pay, might I add. Not a single fucking dime of back pay for all of those months that I was getting underpaid. I get a raise, so then I'm making $13.50, but I see no fucking difference in my checks from back when I was making $11.25. Make that make sense. Newsflash, it doesn't make any fucking sense. So I'm sitting here questioning, I'm like, what does management think of us? Only answer I get is, we're running a business here. You know what? I fucking understand that. Do I respect it? Not really. And so anyways, I'm sitting here in this awkward fucking position. One girl quits on the spot. Other one had put in her 2 weeks. My boss calls me and says, yeah, we're not gonna let her finish out her 2 weeks. She literally did everything she was supposed to do. She did nothing wrong. And it's a very big double standard because one of the higher up people also has a part-time job. So why the girls at my store are getting punished for virtually doing the same thing that someone in management is doing makes no sense to me. Me watching this back and already getting so annoyed because honestly, I'm angry. But this just got me thinking about how much I left out because I'm trying to focus on like everything that happened since the pandemic, but y'all, there was so much corruption within the franchise even before the pandemic happened. I could make countless story times about the employees that we had over the years, the shit that I saw, especially being in management. Oh my god, I was mistreated by multiple different employees and they were legitimately rewarded. There was a girl who constantly acted out and she actually got sent to our store so that we could train her because it was literally last resort type shit, and she caused such a scene at my store, caused drama with everyone who worked there. There was literally an instance where I tried to help her do laundry and she smacked me on the hand, and when I reported it to management, nothing happened. And in fact, she got transferred to yet another store and then was promoted to being the assistant manager at that fucking store. So just a fine example of how backwards these people are. I will never understand it. And then the good employees like me and my 2 coworkers who had been there for years and years and years, did nothing but work our asses off, get fucking punished. Make it make sense. So I'm just learning as time is going on that my job doesn't really care about us. And, you know, if they're so worried about running a business and they're not worried about losing some of their best employees, in fact, they're practically fucking pushing them out the door. I'm like, is this really a company that I want to work for? Like, no, it's not. I felt very stuck. And so I'm just kind of patiently waiting. And then out of the blue, I get news that there is a salon even closer to where I live right now that is about to become available. It has 4 chairs. There's one girl who is going to be taking care of everything. She's going to be the new owner at the salon. And so she's taking one of the chairs. Then I have my 2 best friends and me. Dream team. Fucking dream team. So this was the exact type of opportunity that I was kind of waiting to open up for me to be able to finally leave and get out of this shitty ass job. And so this just like popped up out of the blue and everything is working out. It's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna have the freedom to work whenever I feel like working. I make my own schedule. I can do haircuts on whoever I want. If there's people I don't want to do, I don't have to take them, unlike my last job. I am going to start doing color, which is extremely exciting. So yeah, I'm going to start doing color though, and overall I'm just going to stay specializing in haircutting, honestly. I would love to start doing styles again. I can't wait to be able to shampoo and blow out my clients again. I haven't been able to do that for 2 fucking years. And I'm also potentially, not right away, but I'm eventually going to get back into eyebrow waxing as well. I'm just going to do that like back at the shampoo bowl for my girlies. And I'm so excited. I feel like I can fully be myself, because working at a corporation, like, I put on a mask to go into work, figuratively and literally. I never felt like I could fully be myself because I had to be under the corporate model. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like I could like fully be myself. You have to represent their brand. I'm tired of that, bro. I am ready to represent me, myself, and fucking I. And then, of course, like, the new salon I'm working in, which is with 3 other people that I love and trust so much. And we all have such a similar vision and a similar mindset. We have similar goals. So I just feel like it's just really gonna work out. So let me backtrack. The story of me quitting. We're supposed to be able to get into this new salon sometime in January. Our lease starts January 1st, but with inspections and getting the licensing and all that type of stuff, we don't know exactly when we'll be able to open, but we're supposed to be getting in there in January. So I was thinking, maybe I could quit mid-December. That way I give myself a little bit of a break for Christmas and the new year, and then, you know, 2022 starts and I'm in this new salon. Every day just started getting harder, and I was already miserable at my job. You know, my 2 best friends were gone. I have a whole new staff that I'm working with. Actually, there were 2 people at that store that I liked. One was very part-time, so I never worked with her. And the other one was this older lady. She was like 70. She's an icon. I love her. I couldn't stay. I could not do another fucking day there, you guys. It was so bad. I got to the point this past week that I was crying literally every fucking day. Insert footage here of me peak mental breakdown. I sat down to try to film a video the other day and I just lost it. So I don't know. I'm just truly not in the best mood today. I don't know what's up with me. This is how my fucking day is going. I literally never cry on YouTube, but this is what I mean when I fucking said earlier that I'm just not doing well today. I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't want to just sit on my phone and scroll, because that's usually what I do to like try to disassociate, or like to like get out of my head. I'll just like scroll and scroll and scroll, and I didn't want to do that. Sometimes I don't have the attention span to do that when things are bothering me. So I fucking sit down and I'm like, I'm gonna play guitar because that's gonna make me feel better. I'm way too in my feelings. Holy shit, just one constructive thought, please. But yeah, I just popped a fucking string, literally just trying to tune it. And I knew I need new strings anyway, but like, whatever. I fucking barely play guitar anymore. And my fucking E string popped, and I just started crying. So, that's where I'm fucking at. Oh my god. I don't know, I felt like I've been on the verge of crying for like 3 days now, and I thought it was just because of my period and just because of my anxiety. Oh my fucking god, you guys. I am just not doing well. That was where my mental health was at. I haven't been in that bad of a place, truthfully, since I was put into IOP. And that was really starting to scare me. Of course, my job is not the only thing that brought my mental health to this point. I've been going through a lot. In fact, I've been kind of reflecting that my whole life I've been going through a lot. You know, I had some trauma in my childhood. I had some really bad relationships. I have some daddy issues. it all snowballs, okay? And I'm not currently in therapy, which should I be? Probably. I'm trying to work on myself and take care of myself, but when I'm going into a job that's making me cry every day, how am I going to work on all these personal problems that I'm trying to work through when I'm going into such a toxic and miserable place every day just to make money? I just, it was making me feel like back when I would dread going to school every day, I was starting to dread going into work every day. Just no motivation to be there anymore, Fast forward, it's the day before Thanksgiving. All week, Chris keeps telling me, just put in your 2 weeks now, just put in your 2 weeks. And I was like, no, I want to make it at least to my tattoo appointment date, which is December 9th. But if anything, I really want to try to be there through the 17th. I don't know why I chose the 17th to be my last day. And so I started getting scared. I'm like, wait, if I put in my 2 weeks, are they even going to let me finish it? So, I'm like really panicking about the timeline in my head. I'm trying to find the perfect time. Meanwhile, I'm so miserable every day that I'm going in, and I guess I hit my breaking point. Something shifted in my manager, and she started really treating me and this older lady and then the other super part-time girl like not well. Meanwhile, she had her nephew, and then she hired somebody that literally has been in and out of jail, and that happened to be a very close friend of hers. So the salon then felt divided between me and these two coworkers of mine that have been there. I had been there 5 years. These other two girls had definitely been there a decent amount of time, and then we have these other 3 people who are brand new at our store. They already ran 2 of our best employees out, so, there's me and this older lady left, and I'm mainly focusing on us 2 because we had more hours. All week, she just kept getting really snippy with the older lady that I worked with, but would let the other 2 employees that she just hired walk around and do whatever the fuck they want. They would take their mask off on the floor. They wouldn't clean stuff properly. They would sit in the back and not do anything while we would just keep taking haircuts, keep doing laundry, keep doing cleaning stuff. And to see them get special treatment while the people who are there and actually bust their ass all day, every day, to get treated like shit was like my absolute breaking point. Like, I was like, no, fuck this. We already get treated like shit by customers, and we're getting bullshitted by higher management. I am not going to come in here and get treated like shit from my manager and my coworkers. Like, that's just not going to happen. She yelled at her twice, and it was always over some stupid shit. I go to the back, and I was like, I don't know why she's screaming at you. I don't agree with it. It's not okay that she's talking to you this way. And the older lady that I worked with was like, you know what? I can't do it anymore. I'm done. And she was debating taking her license off the wall, but she was just gonna like walk out and ask to be transferred. And I was telling her, I'm like, look, if you take your license off the wall, take mine too, because I'll walk out right behind you. I'm done. And then I told her, which I hadn't told anybody at work about the new salon, because I knew I would probably get fired if I mentioned it. I'm like, honestly, the longest that I was gonna be here was gonna be middle of December anyway. I already was planning on quitting. I just hadn't told anybody yet, but if you walk out now, I'll walk out with you. She starts packing her stuff up like 15 minutes early because it was the day before Thanksgiving, and she had a whole shit ton of food to cook. She had shit to do, and 15 minutes, you know how many times anybody else has packed up 15 minutes early and it's not been a fucking problem? But my manager freaks the fuck out and starts screaming at her while she's literally with a client. She was like, it's not 3 o'clock yet. Why are you already packing up? And just starts like laying into her. And I was just like, all right, if she wasn't planning on taking her license off the wall, now she will be. She absolutely will be. And sure as shit, as soon as she finishes up with her client, she runs to the back and she's all like, what's going on? What are you doing? And she was just like, move, I'm leaving. And that's all she fucking said. She just kept repeating that. She was like, move out of my way, I am leaving. And so she packs up all her shit, grabs all her shit out of the break room, and then finally she walks to the back, takes the fucking licenses off the wall, grabs hers, grabs mine. She walks over to her station, and I was like set up right next to her. She puts my license on my station and she's like, all right, happy Thanksgiving, see ya, and fucking leaves. Iconic ass bitch, dude. And so I was with a client, okay? When she set my license on my station, I was still with a fucking client. And he's just kind of sitting there like, what the hell is going on right now? And I'm like shaking, like I am so anxious. And so I finish up his haircut and start packing all my shit up too. And then my manager calls me back and she's like, Sim, let's talk. And I was like, oh fuck. And so I go into the back and she just like loses it. She's like, I don't understand what she's doing. Why would she just walk out on me? She's like, I fought to get her off at 3 and she thinks she can just walk out early and do whatever the hell she wants. Like that's how she's gonna repay me. And I'm just kind of like, I can't speak for her. I can tell you that you screamed at her a couple of times and that set her over the edge because she is stubborn and she's not gonna take that shit. And, you know, I'm like, she finally had enough and she left. And she's like, so why did she hand you your license? And I'm like, I'm out too. I'm sorry, but I'm out. And I explained to her, you know, all the higher up things in management that I did not agree with, wasn't okay with, and about pay. Also, I'm pretty sure there was black mold in our salon and the maintenance guy just wouldn't fix it. He kept slapping band-aids on it. But yet every time any of us would go into the salon, we would get a sniffly nose, we would get headaches, a lot of symptoms of black mold, and I'm pretty sure it was in the bathroom on the floor tiles, and then also in the ceiling there was a leak. And yeah, the bathroom never got fixed. We just got new ceiling tiles, but he never cleared out the black mold. And so, you know, I brought that up to her and just I tried to dump as much as I could because when I went into work on Wednesday, I was not planning to quit, you guys. I truly was not. So it just kind of happened really fast. Might I also add that she threw a pizza party that day, which I think for me was kind of the icing on top of the cake of like, literally just fuck working for this corporation. You know, it's such a standard that like big corporation companies will do that where their employees will like complain and be miserable and they're like, okay, we'll throw you a pizza party instead of fixing any of the fucking problems. Like that's what it felt like to me. And so that's why I think it was just kind of the icing on top of the cake that I was just like, all right. So yeah, I tried my best to explain my side of things and a little bit for the other lady who walked out, just in solidarity of her, of like, yeah, I'm not standing by this shit either, and I'm walking out with her. She was very angry about the lady before me walking out, but when it came to me leaving, she just started crying. And that, you guys, I was not expecting that. So I've had a really hard time processing all of this. I don't know, I wasn't expecting that response from her. If anything, I thought she was just gonna yell at me and be like, oh, fuck you, leave, and, you know, but like, she was straight crying. I also explained to her how bad my mental health has been too, and I'm like, look, I gotta take care of myself right now, and this place is just making my mental health worse, so I can't stay here. And, you know, she said she wished me the best, and she appreciated that I even took time to stand back there and talk to her, and yada, 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 you know. She cried, gave me a huge hug, and I just felt weird. And so she was like, I mean, if you're gonna leave, go ahead and leave now. And I was like, all right, guess I will. I don't really know what else to do. So I packed up all my stuff, handed her my key, went to the bathroom, and I dipped, and it worked out perfectly because Chris just so happened to get off work and pulled up at the perfect time that I was like walking out the door. So that worked out really well. And I just honestly dissociated from that moment through literally the rest of the night. I completely dissociated because I just like couldn't believe that I did it. And it's so scary to not have a job because now instead of not having a job for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm not gonna have a job for a whole month. But, you know, I'm just going to take it day by day. This month is probably going to fly right by. That's pretty much the whole story, I guess. So, yeah, my plans now is that I'm just going to really try to kick some ass on YouTube because I'm home. So, might as well while I can. And then we'll just see the timeline of how things work out. But then I'm going to start at this new salon. and I'm planning on working about the same that I was working at my previous job. Sorry, my camera cut me off, so let me wrap this up real quick. But I'm going to be starting at this new salon. We are going to be renting the chairs, so that's going to be a big adjustment for me. It's also going to be an adjustment to be virtually kind of be my own boss and to have to manage my money and my schedule and all of that stuff myself. But I think it's going to be so worth it, and I feel like my passion for hair is really going to spring back. I want to do better. I want to keep learning more things. I want to improve my skills. Although I am going to be like booth renting, or chair renting rather, we are still going to try to be like a communal salon. So I'm also going to be in charge of our social media, and I also am going to be the main person to really get in there and decorate the place, which I'm really excited about because I love interior design. I mean, you guys know, like, decorating this apartment was such a dream for me. So now to have a salon space that I get to decorate, and it doesn't have to be like this like corporate model, like we can decorate it however the fuck we want. I'm so excited. I'm truly so excited. Here is to new beginnings, besties. So I just want to finish off this video. I thought I was going to vlog, but this is honestly way too long. I'm just going to keep this as its own video. I just want to say, if you're going through something similar, please know that there is something better out there for you. I know I'm in a very privileged position to be able to just quit my job, have some time off, and then start this new venture. I do recognize that. However, please don't think that working some shitty minimum wage job, that is not all that you are worth. It doesn't matter if you didn't go to school for something. You can always go back to school, first of all. You could go to a trade school, or you could just do an apprentice type program somewhere. I highly recommend working a trade job, depending on you, of course. I am the type of person, I do better working with my hands. Just remember that there are always other options out there for you. Do not feel confined or stuck to just working some shitty ass job just to pay your bills. There is something better out there for literally everybody. I mean, of course, somebody has to do those jobs, don't get me wrong. If you still have to stay at a minimum wage job or like a corporation type job, there's still better options out there for you. You know, there's better companies that you can work for, or at least better franchises that you can work under. There's better management you can work under. There's better coworkers that you can have, better customers depending on where you're located. There's always something better out there. So do not get stuck working a job that is ruining your mental health, ruining your physical health, that's not paying you enough, that you're getting treated like shit at. There is something better out there for you. I promise. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay? So I just wanted to end on that note. I think that there's a huge revelation happening with our generation right now. I hope to God that minimum wage gets raised for the first time in years and years and years, because inflation is happening. It is real. It is hard for people to pay their bills. It is hard for people to keep a roof over their head, a car to drive. Trust me, I am there right now. I am broke as shit, but you know, I'm just out here living life. I'm gonna figure it out. That's my mindset, is that anything can be figured out, anything can be accomplished. You just have to figure it out and do it, you know? This was a huge, scary leap for me to make. I'm really taking a chance here because this whole salon could fail. I was at my job for 5 fucking years. What am I gonna do? Stay somewhere just because I'm comfortable? Or am I gonna take the jump to potentially be somewhere so much better? I plan on doing a shit ton of YouTube content, like I said. I might fuck around and start a Patreon. I've had people request it, and then I've also asked on Instagram if anybody would be interested, and a lot of people said yes, so let me know down below if you're interested in that. Starting off, I'm going to keep it really, really, really cheap, probably $3 to $5 a month at most, and I'm just going to use it kind of how I use my spam Instagram account. I'm just going to post texts, I'm going to post full videos. I really want to do WeedTube videos for you guys. I think that would be a lot of fun. And then I also want to just post photos, photo dumps, you know, maybe do some voice memos. I want to keep you guys way more updated on my life on there. Since it's a little more of a private platform, I'd feel a little safer to be more open there rather than how I am here on YouTube and sometimes on Instagram. Look forward to that. That will be coming eventually. I kind of want to try TikTok a little bit. I've had so many people request me do TikToks more, and I definitely want to try at that as well. TikTok's just a little hard for my brain to figure out, but we'll get there. So YouTube, Patreon, TikTok, catch me there. And then in the meantime too, we have a lot of fun things coming up. This is going to be a really exciting weekend. We have more friends coming to stay with us because Chris's skate video is finally being premiered on Sunday, which I'm really excited about. We're going to have a lot of people show out for that. And yeah, and then after that, it's going to be pretty smooth sailing, and then Christmas is going to happen, and then the new year, and then I'm going to start this new salon. So it's going to be good. I'm feeling really great about the future. It was really scary and overwhelming to just quit my job, but you know, it had to happen. I was so miserable, and even though I'm feeling like weird and kind of like dissociated, like, wow, is this even real right now? What is happening? I know I made the right decision, and I'm overall really happy and really proud of myself for taking this huge, scary leap. But, you know, I'm just trusting the universe to work things out for me. And, of course, I'm going to put in as much hard work, and I'm going to manifest everything, and I'm going to work on myself. You know, I know I'm preaching about how I'm going to put out all this content, which I will, but I really need to do some inward reflecting and really work on myself and work through some of the traumas and hardships that I've been through. I think that's about it though for this video. I don't want to talk for too much longer because this has already been so long. If I miss anything, I'll just insert some clips because I feel like, I don't know that I compiled my thoughts that well. I pretty much just sat here and thought dumped to you guys. This, my friends, is to new beginnings. Things are going to work out for us besties. You best believe it. Thank you guys for sitting here and listening to me ramble and update you. I'm sorry that I was being a little annoying there for a minute, but I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate all the support that every single one of you guys give me. You guys are always so sweet. When I posted on Instagram that I had just walked out of my job, I had so many people messaging me being like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, yes, everything is fine. I will explain it soon. So if you were one of the people that was requesting a story time or just overall checking in with me, I hope you enjoyed this video. If not, if you just stumbled across this and saw the fucking dramatic ass title, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. Disclaimer, please do not go after my place of work. I really hope they just don't even find this video. So I might even take out the name of where I worked, but you guys will be able to infer it. So just please don't start anything with my place of work. I believe in karma. They will get what is coming for them. It's not my problem. I moved on. That's all I have to say. So without further ado, I'm gonna wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you want to support me. Make sure you follow me on Instagram because that's where I feel I post the most updates. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.